I now proceed to read from the book of Enoch, and I will go over chapter 7 on camera as the Lord has instructed me. I already read for you where it says, when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, this is Genesis chapter 6, and daughters were born to them, the sons of God saw that the daughters of men were beautiful, and they took wives for themselves of all whom they chose. Now listen to what Enoch, which is not in the Bible, says. It happened after that the sons of men had multiplied in those days, and daughters were born to them, elegant and beautiful. And when the angels, the sons of heaven, beheld them, they became enamored of them, means to fall in love, saying to each other, come, let us select for ourselves wives from the children of men, and let us have children. Then their leader, Samyaza, said to them, I fear that you may perhaps be indisposed to the performance of this enterprise. He was basically saying, I worry that now that we have made this decision, some of you may change your mind to do this thing. Now, why would an angel say that? Because they know that they are not given to procreation. The Bible says that when we pass away, we will be like the angels in heaven who neither marry or are given in marriage. And so right there, it is shown that the class called angels are not created to procreate as we are. Procreation, the act of making love and bringing forth seed after our own kind, is a very specific gift that God has given only to those that dwell on the earth. Human beings, fish, bird, and even the flora and fauna around us, meaning that the trees and the flowers and the other plants are given this gift by the Lord to procreate in our own way and multiply. But the angels are not given this right. It is not the heritage of angels to take wives and have children. And so all those who are teaching that the sons of God are merely good men, the sons of Seth, how do you explain where it says in the text, the sons of God saw that the daughters of men? If these are the sons of God, and you argue that they are men, there is no need for the Bible to be pedantic and then say that the women are the progeny of men. It should simply say the sons of God saw the daughters of God, that they were fair, and took wives from among them. It should not make a differentiation and say these sons that God had saw daughters that came from men. It's clearly pointing to two different classes, and that goes against what is taught in the Genesis covenant, Genesis chapter 1 to Genesis chapter 3, where God continuously makes each kind and then says that it is good, and he says that kind should only bring kind. He even says of the plants, these are seed-bearing plants that should each bring out after their own kind. So kind should be with kind. You should not cross kinds because that breaks the Genesis 1 to 3 covenant. And so this angel here, knowing that he is about to lead others into transgression, and not that he was leading them, for it says that they all took agreement with one another and said, let us find wives and let us have children. He said that I fear you may perhaps change your mind in performing this enterprise, and that I alone will be punished for such a grievous crime. But they answered him and they said, no, we all swear and we bind ourselves by mutual execrations, which basically means we all make this same binding and permanent promise that we will not change our minds about this. We shall not change our intention, but we will indeed carry out our projected undertaking. Verse 7, then they all swore together and they all bound themselves by mutual execrations, the same binding promise. And the whole number of them that did this was 200, who came down upon Ardis, which is at the top of Mount Armon, or should we say Mount Hermon. That mountain, therefore, was called Armon because they then swore upon it, and they bound themselves by mutual execrations. And then the text names them, and then it goes to verse 10, and it says, then they took wives, each choosing for himself, whom they began to approach, and with whom they cohabited, teaching them sorcery, incantations, and the dividing of roots and trees. And here is Genesis proved. And the women conceived and brought forth giants, whose height was 300 cubits. And the giants devoured all the labor that men could produce until it became impossible to feed them. Then they turned themselves against men and began to devour men. And they began to sin against the birds, the beasts, the reptiles, the fishes, and to eat their flesh one after the other and to drink their blood. And then the earth cried out against these unrighteous. So if you've been in the normal church setting, and whenever it comes to this and they're trying to explain the flood to you, they're telling you that basically human beings slept with other human beings, and then all of a sudden giants appeared on the earth, and that's why God had to get rid of it because the earth was so corrupt and everything. They have left out. There are many scholars out there who know the truth of what I'm speaking, but because they have made the executive decision that their flock would not be able to accept this, they have kept the truth back from God's people. And so God's people are living in a very deep darkness. But I have noticed that in the last decade, God has started to open this up to his people sovereignly. So he has started to lead his people to websites and to teachings and to sermons and to videos, even like this one. This may be your first time hearing it, but I can assure you that you are hearing actually what is at the core of the Genesis story and why God said to Satan in the garden when judging him that your seed will be always at odds and constantly an enemy of the seed of the woman.